Get that theme in your life. You wish you could hear it, Mike.
I know, I can't.
It's a pretty sweet theme. So we're back. Hey, my bad on the internet issues.
Blaming it on me. You were blaming it on me?
I was, dude. I definitely was. And I yelled, I thought we were past this. Not at you, but just in general frustration. So my bad about that. No idea why. So hopefully I can figure that out before next week.
Innocent until proven guilty, sir.
So where were we? We were talking about the wide receivers for the Vikings. They're pretty good. Let's talk, you know what? Now that we've had a little break, I want to discuss the penalties. The new, what are they calling it? Not focus, but the emphasis. The new emphasis, right? So the Bennett play. Let's talk about that. First of all, do you think that's a bad call or a bad rule or both?
I don't know. They're going to call a low hit every time. They're just going to call it. That's been around for years. They're going to call it. Was it weak? It was pretty weak because he landed first and then grabbed him.
Yeah.
But it's a bang bang play. That's all I got. I mean,
do you think
we got to live with it? We got to
live
with those calls.
That's what I'm saying. Do you the rule may be garbage, but that ref did everything he was supposed to do, right? That's his job, is to call that. You have to call that, don't you? Yeah.
Yep. Yes. Yep.
I will say, well, first of all, dude's wearing kids' shoulder pads. Where are the adult shoulder pads for Mr. Bennett? Because his weren't full size.
I think it's a lot harder to hold them if you don't have big ass shoulder pads.
Did he forget his at home and he accidentally had his son's? Do you think that the Eagles just let him? I digress. I think the rule is garbage. I think that he did everything that he could do, Bennett, to not. I mean, he wasn't being malicious. He wasn't trying to hurt him. He very nicely wrapped him up. So I get people throwing a stink about the play in general and about the penalty in general, but as the rule is, I mean, they're going to call it. He was by his legs. That's Tom Brady. Yep. That's the Tom Brady rule.
Exactly.
Do you think these rules are quote unquote ruining football? Do you think this is giving us a worse product on the field? Not only this rule, but the catch rule and the et cetera, et cetera. Do you think they're doing the right thing by making these different rules, or do you think they're kind of screwing it up?
The rules are fine. There was one call in the game yesterday.
Right. I don't think it's really affected these games. The first two games of the preseason was a bummer to watch, and I get that, but it hasn't been that bad.
I don't think so.
It's only bad for guys that can't figure it out, Clay Matthews.
Clay Matthews.
Just stop doing the thing you're doing, man. It's easy. Figure it out. Let's talk a little bit about the Packers and that entire debacle. First of all, how wonderful is it to watch the Packers kicker miss? What did he miss? 5 field goals, 4 kicks,
4 field goals, 1 extra point, I believe. Yes, I had him on my fantasy team.
Oh, that's right, you did.
Finished -4 points.
-4.
Guess what I'm doing tomorrow? Dropping him.
Do you think there's any way the Packers do that? No way, right? They keep him around.
No,
he's a good
no.
kicker. He just had a bad day.
Yeah.
I thought it was nice of Aaron Rodgers to give him hugs and stuff. That was encouraging. That was cute.
Yeah, as he's grinding his teeth and wishing the guy would jump off a cliff. Yeah.
It's so funny. These rookie wide receivers, these young wide receivers, Aaron Rodgers just has no time for their mistakes, and they have to be better. And this is no good. And your field goal kicker misses a bunch of kicks, and Rodgers is just had a bad day. He's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Can't have it both ways. Discount double check. Do you think the Packers are going to make the playoffs?
I do. I
have a tough time seeing a scenario where they don't. They would have to really fall apart because they're going to get some games against. I don't think the Bears are that good. Detroit maybe, though. I could see maybe Detroit beating Green Bay a couple of times. I think Detroit is maybe the most interesting team in not only in this division but in the NFC in general, because they have a chance to be pretty okay, or they could be absolute garbage. Yeah,
they can put up points. I'm not a fan of the defense, but they can put up points. They did sack Rodgers 4 times yesterday. No picks, but they sack foamed them twice.
They've beaten the Patriots. They beat the crap out of the Patriots, beat the crap out of the Packers, but they have lost to bad teams as well. Patricia on the defense, do you think he's a good, I mean, it's too early to say if he's a good head coach or not, but do you think he could fix the defense just like his schemes in the Patriot way?
Maybe. I think they're just going to look to outscore people, though.
It would make more sense. That's what I mean. If it was me, I would try and outscore people because, duh. I think Matthew Stafford is pretty underrated. He can make some bad turnovers at times, but I think overall he's a pretty good player.
It's all right.
First of all, new rule: we shouldn't both be watching television while we're doing this because that's
mine's off.
We're watching. You're a liar.
I turned mine off because at first I thought it was
liar. All right, whatever. I'll turn my TV off then. I don't believe it.
Off.
All right, fine. I believe you.
I thought it was my internet was getting too bogged down, so I shut it off. It was your crap.
Turns out it was my crappy internet, and the only thing I can think is that it was. It's raining now. I don't know. Does rain affect the internet? I'm not that kind of a guy. Like I'm not a tech guy in that way.
Not going to respond to that question.
I have no idea, dude. But yeah. Anyways, Detroit. I think it's very intriguing. I think they could be good. I want them to be in the playoffs because I feel like that means the Packers will not be in the playoffs, and I'm not afraid of Detroit in the playoffs because who is? But I am afraid of the Packers and Rodgers in the playoffs. I think he has that stupid magic.
I cannot have the Lions in the playoffs. I do not need to hear the roar has been restored. A certain individual on K-Fan.
Dude, I missed the beginning of his show today. I was going to start the other podcast with the we can build this thing together, and I didn't know if he had started. The guy's like stealing my bit. That's my bit.
Yeah,
it is. I came up with that first. I also did the theme for this show, so I mean,
so you say. I still haven't heard it.
It's real, and it's the bomb. And it was still playing because it's like 10 minutes long.
Oh.
I mean, you fade it out, you give yourself that option.
Sure,
Maybe sometimes
it
takes us longer. I mean, just wait until you hear it before you judge. It's pretty hardcore. I think you're going to like it. I think it's going to be.
The Giants are going to cut Eric Flowers, their first round offensive line from 2015.
Really?
9th pick overall. They're going to cut him.
Cut him just bad performance? Do you know? Yep. I don't know anything about that. Just bad performance.
Yep.
Why can the Vikings have him? Is it something that
claim him off of waivers?
Do you think? Well, that's a good transition. Let's talk about the offensive line. Do you think this group for the Vikings is good enough to get them where they're trying to go?
With Reef, we need Reef. O'Neal sucks.
You think so? I thought O'Neal did pretty well,
I watched the game back yesterday. He was getting bull rushed. He was getting beat on the run. That was not good.
Really?
Not good. Watch the game back.
All right, I will. I haven't yet. I'm going to take your
play that Bennett got him low. He got bull rushed right back into Cousins, and that's why Cousins kind of went down like that. Yeah.
It's definitely still the biggest question mark is that offensive line, and it seems like they got a new group in there every single week. There's O'Neal's playing this week, or Rashad Hill's out this week, or this is.
O'Neal got in because Hill jumped over to left tackle when Reef went out.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. There's so much shuffling going on, and I do like that the offensive linemen are flexible, and so you can shuffle, so you have options. But good God, can we just settle on a group and see if they're gonna be bad and adjust to it? Because you're never gonna know. It's gonna be week 7, and they're gonna have no idea what their offensive line looks like.
This week was injury related, sir, so it's not like they did it by choice.
It's always injury related, man. That's the only reason they're in this position is because of injuries. They're stupid offensive linemen. I hate it.
I bet you could play offensive tackle too, huh? Like you could kick a field goal?
No, I couldn't do that. I just don't have a good enough anchor. That's what the guys call it, the draft dudes. It's my anchor. I got serious issues here. I had headphone issues, internet issues.
You're out of sorts today. You're just out of sorts,
man.
We just lost our one fan. I hope you know.
Yeah, the one person that was listening live is no longer listening. I'm sure there's a way for me to see that, and I am not interested in
You are the Laquan Treadwell of radio today.
Wow.
Sorry, you're dropping the ball.
So you're saying, so what you're saying is I am improving every week, and that I have a lot of upside, and there's no way I'm getting fired from my job.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're right. Those are all pretty accurate. I wouldn't even say improving though, because this week is kind of a step back. I'm having a Laquan Treadwell Green Bay game right now.
Text your mom back so we can get that fan back, okay? Make sure she's listening.
Oh man, you're probably right. It probably was my mom. Hey mom.
My mom's not listening, I tell you that. So.
Okay, so the offensive line, do you think they're good enough? Like, is that going to be the reason that the Vikings don't get to like an NFC Championship / Super Bowl? Is because of the offensive line?
No,
what do you think that issue will? What do you?
They only gave a 1 sack yet. You are cutting out again, my friend.
Oh my God. I'm good, man. I can't handle this. I can't handle these technical difficulties. It's driving me crazy.
Did you hear my 1 sack? They only gave up 1 sack yesterday.
It's true. But do you think that that's the biggest question mark for that? I mean, it has to be. I don't know what they're going to do to address it.
It's still the defense. It's still the defense. I'm sorry.
Man, you're right. I think they're young in the secondary, so that is concerning. But they looked pretty good yesterday. I worry that they put too much weight on the defense. I think they're too reliant on the defense to like score. I think they're too reliant on the defense to keep the opposition like 21 points and under. Although that is a little bit different this year with Cousins, but I think they rely too much on the defense. Maine.
Well, just look at last year. I mean, I wasn't expecting that good of a performance again this year, but somewhere close. I mean, crap. Looked terrible. We play yesterday. We played good yesterday. We still gave up those chunk plays, though, those plus 20-yard passes. Like,
definitely. Yeah,
definitely.
Of them. Well, and here's the thing is we're spoiled because we're used to a top 5 defense. And they're not terrible. They're like in the 19s and 20s for all the rankings.
Bottom third.
But
third.
Man, but it's like jarring to see a defense that good turn into a defense that not good.
Just same players, too.
Yeah, exactly. That's the worst part. And really the only difference is Terrence Newman. So can you put that on Terrence Newman and be like, oh, well, it's no big deal because he's out.
Even the loss of Trey Waynes being out there hurts. Mike Hughes played good yesterday.
He did. I think Trey Waynes is important to that defense, maybe more important than we're giving credit because he is targeted a lot and he does take the like majority of the, I don't want to say the reps, but like he's out there all the time and they're always targeting him.
And it does take Mike Hughes out of the slot and puts Alexander on the field. I would not like that guy.
Man, I don't trust Alexander at all. Mm-hmm. I think he is. I don't want to say he's not good, but I just don't think he fits what they're doing. But also, I'm starting to think that Andrew Sendejo is maybe not the best player to have out there. Yeah, man, huge liability. With the penalties now,
Yep.
What do you think? I mean, it's only a matter of time before he like gets suspended or like extends a drive for a team, right? Wouldn't you think that's about to happen?
Trade Seattle right now a 7th-round pick for Earl Thomas's broken leg.
A 7th rounder and Earl Thomas's leg for Sendejo. Straight up. No problem.
Yeah.
Speaking of Seattle, what happened to them? And they used to be so good. Was it just here's the point I'm trying to make. That defense was so good. That was like 3 years ago. We were talking about how they were like lights out best defense ever. The Vikings are capable of 3 years from now being a total disaster on defense, right? Conceivably, if we just saw Seattle do that. Are we? Well,
we got some more players. We got some more players locked up, though. I think than they did.
We do, and I think that was the big issue. Was guys started to get weird when dudes started getting paid. And they also had the luxury of the no large quarterback contract.
Yeah, they started losing players when they signed Russell.
That's what I'm saying. And so all of a sudden it was, it kind of changed the dynamic there. So I think the Vikings will be able to avoid that a little bit. And I think they do have, the contracts that they have with their defense are good and they're set up for a while. But like Barr isn't part of that. They still haven't signed him, right?
He gone.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to bring him back.
No,
do you want to Oracle that make it official? Make it official? Hang on, let me find my phone. Mike the Oracle, the sound bar. Gotta get it.
Mike the Oracle.
It's so bad, I love it.
Anthony Barr will not be a member of the Minnesota Vikings next year.
Wow, what? No way. We got to get a hush for that too. Yeah,
comes over the crowd. Yeah.
Should we have maybe seen that coming? I mean, because they have not. Everybody else they have tried to lock up early, maybe a year before, and not Barr though. And he doesn't look all that great this year. They were trying to move him, or not move him, but they were trying him out with like the defensive lineman early in the preseason. That might have been just a technique thing, but still.
Once they signed Diggs, and then they re-upped the freak on what the hell's his name?
Danielle Hunter.
Danielle Hunter, thank you. They re-upped him. You knew it was over. You just knew it.
I don't know though. That Brzezinski
and Kendricks, they re-upped before.
Yes, they did. And then
he
they
still
gave
got a whole
Cousins
year
a bunch of money. Yeah. Well, that had been their MO was they got Diggs a year before, if I'm not mistaken. They got Thielen a year before, and they got Kendricks a year before. They got Hunter a year before, and Barr they just were like, nah, we're good. We're good on that. See you later.
He gone. Yeah.
He also was an edge rusher in college, and they like moved him thinking that he could be like Lawrence Taylor's stud on defense. Maybe that was a bad call. Maybe that was a bad draft pick. I mean, I think he's a good player, but it's a big chance to take at that spot in the draft. Because wasn't he like top 10? Wasn't he 7th overall pick?
7th overall. I think he lived up to the 7th overall pick. He's having a bad year.
I can't argue with that. And in a contract year for a bad year doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I will say this. I don't think he's as bad as maybe he is looking right now because of, well, like in the LA game, they were isolating him on matchups that he should not have been in. So, like, he was getting burned, and he looked like he got killed. But, he was lined up against Cooper Kupp. So, can you really be that upset with him?
He does look slow this year, but it looks like he's off.
No, I don't disagree with you at all. I do think he's not playing as well as he can. Maybe he's hurt still. I don't know, because that was kind of my thing last year. Was I thought
not to get hurt. Maybe he's trying not to get hurt.
That could very well be. Well, no, he doesn't. He shouldn't care because he's got the insurance thing. He got that in the off season this year. So
I think that just covers 1 or 2 years max, though.
I mean,
we'll never know.
Well, I have no idea.
No one's going to insure me for millions of dollars.
I was just going to say that is way out of my way out of my pay grade. Man, I don't know. It's first of all, who do you get to replace him? It ain't going to be Gideon, so you're going to have to bring somebody else in. Do you move Kendricks over? I don't know. They don't have anybody on the team that you'd have to draft somebody.
Or Khalil Mack sounds good to me.
Oh, dude, did you imagine? Does he? No, because he just signed.
No, he just signed a 5-year.
Yeah, okay.
It's completely ludicrous.
Why you got to do that? Oh, that's right. Because that's an absolutely obscene contract. Man, I don't know what they would do. I don't know if it would really hurt the defense because isn't it kind of looking like? I mean, their base defense isn't their base defense anymore. It's basically Barr, Kendricks, and a bunch of corners and safeties. So they
put their big nickel package in with Iloka and Curse several times yesterday, and it worked.
I'm interested in that. I think they should do that a lot more going forward, but it looks like they're going to use it as like a weapon. Like, here's our special Wildcat defense. No, dude, you should just be in that all the time. I saw a post the other day that said they should do that and then have, instead of I think it was Weatherly, but instead of one of the ends, it was Barr as a down lineman rushing the passer.
I thought we were going to do that a couple weeks ago, and they didn't do it one time.
I thought that, because there were two guys, they were down. The Vikings on Sunday were down to 2 healthy ends, defensive ends. if you were ever going to make that move and have Barr rushing as a down lineman as an end, that was the day to do it. And
now we're going to save that for the Super Bowl.
Maybe.
Speaking of Weatherly, by the way, is he a monster or what?
Dude, he
was causing havoc all day.
He's tough, man. And he's another one where they just keep plugging these guys. They keep pulling them. It's like 4th, 5th, 6th round picks that they just. I mean, Hunter, what was he? It was a 4th round pick. Diggs was a third. Diggs was a 5th round pick, I think.
Thielen undrafted.
Yeah, man. It's good. But, that being said, they also drafted a kicker in the 5th round. So,
and Treadwell in the 1st round, and they got Patterson in the 1st round, and Ponder 12th.
Oh, the Ponder pick is like indefensible. Why?
Panic. Total panic move.
Total panic. You had to do it. We need a guy. That's not the guy. It was
terrible.
That was a bad decision. On their part. Let's talk a little bit about the game coming up, the Arizona Cardinals.
Yep.
It's at home. Arizona's bad. Bradford's already not starting. I don't like. You can't. Can we really give it like a 100% guaranteed? No, not after the Bills game, obviously. But
what's the spread? I wonder.
I was just going to ask you that, thinking that you already knew. But you have to think, because they're at home, it's going to be at least 6.
It'll be more than that. It'll be like 8.5, 9, somewhere.
Yeah. So
Vikings will cover.
Let me ask you this. I haven't watched a ton of the Rosen kid, the UCLA dude who now is starting for Arizona. But they have players on offense who could be considered weapons. Larry Fitzgerald's still really good. I mean, they got options. And
David Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, what percentage would you put on an upset here?
25%.
25%?
Take the Bills game out, and I'd say like 10.
Yeah, exactly. Well, see, and part of me wants to go, it's less likely because of the Bills game, because they've already had that, like, terrible, stupid hiccup.
That was more than a hiccup, my friend.
Well, you get what I'm saying, though. They already pooped the bed at home, so it feels like they are not going to, or, will be aware that they shouldn't do that again. I think there's a chance they lose this game.
Every team that comes into our house is just going to be amped, especially a team that's bad. They're just going to be amped up to play. They're going to be ready to go.
Well, that's every team when you're
a little bit hard.
Yeah. Maybe that's part of the problem is this team adjusting to a first place schedule where they're getting teams' best cracks and the best teams in their respective divisions are who you're lined up against. Maybe that's the issue, is that right now they're just getting settled. I don't know. And maybe the issue is we're like 4 or 5 weeks in. It's still early.
The game that concerns me is the Jets in 2 weeks on the road.
Don't like that. Are you impressed with Darnold? Have you been watching?
I think he looks all right. He's throwing some picks, but he's got a nice arm.
Yeah.
Runs around a little bit. I think he's going to be good.
Totally. He's one of those guys that I don't want to be impressed with because he's, the like tall, blonde-haired, blue-eyed USC quarterback but he's pretty good.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
He has a chance to be a pretty good player in the future.
You should have taken that scholarship. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I probably should have. Ugh. Let's not bring that up right now.
I'm sorry.
How long have we? 9:25. I mean, I want to keep going, but yeah, pretty good. My bad on the internet, but we'll.
Reminds me of the Bills game. Your internet reminds me of the Bills game. I mean, it's just awful.
We'll let the theme song play us out. And I'll see you next week, Mike. And hopefully my internet will be better.
Yeah, let's work on that. All right?
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Later.